This week, the world of drag, really entertainment in general, I think, lost a true icon.
Yeah, a tough one for sure.
The Vivienne, the dazzling queen who won the very first season of RuPaul's Drag Race UK, passed away
So young.
far too young, only 32.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. And the internet is just flooded with tributes, Reddit threads, social media.
Yeah, I was going to say it's overwhelming, to say the least.
It really is.
And it's just clear from the posts that the Vivienne's impact went way beyond just winning a reality show.
Oh, absolutely. She had this unique ability to connect with people, even through the screen.
Yeah.
Her talent was undeniable. I mean, she could be anyone. Donald Trump, Dame Edna.
Oh, yeah.
And that quick wit, legendary. But there was also this warmth and vulnerability that shone through. And I think that's why she resonated so deeply with fans.
Her humor was definitely something else.
Mhm.
So distinctly British, but appealed to everyone. And speaking of British, can you talk a little bit about UK drag for our listeners who might not be as familiar?
Sure, UK drag has a reputation for being, I don't know, a bit grittier,
Yeah.
more punk rock than some of the very polished styles we see in the US.
Right.
It's all about sharp wit, theatrical flair, and a lot of self-deprecation.
Oh, for sure.
And the Vivienne, perfect embodiment of that. She could be glamorous, she can be campy, and absolutely hilarious all at the same time.
And she had incredible range, too. I mean, you mentioned her Snatch Game as Trump.
Oh, iconic.
But she was also brilliant in that YouTube series with Monet Exchange.
Love that one.
They tackled all sorts of things, etiquette, cooking.
That's a great example of her versatility. She could hold her own with drag royalty like Monet, and then turn around and star in these stage productions. The Wizard of Oz, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I was going to say right up until her passing.
A true force of nature.
Yeah,
Her
yeah.
career was on this phenomenal trajectory.
Which makes the loss even more difficult to process.
Right.
I mean, just days before she passed, she was posting about, reaching new heights. It's almost impossible to reconcile those images of vibrancy with the news that she's gone.
It's a stark reminder of how fragile life can be and how quickly things can change.
That's for sure.
And unfortunately, the circumstances surrounding her passing have only added to the confusion and the heartache.
Right. The cause of death hasn't been officially released, and the Metro article stated that the family requested privacy, which is totally understandable.
Of course, yeah, but the lack of details has fueled so much speculation, especially online.
Especially online.
I mean, Reddit threads are just filled with fans trying to piece together what happened.
Makes sense.
Some are worried about a possible relapse, given that, Vivienne had openly talked about her past struggles with addiction on Drag Race.
Right, and some are bringing up the intense online hate that she faced recently.
Oh, yeah.
Questioning if that could have played a role. Specifically, her appearance on Blankety sparked some vicious backlash from certain corners of the internet.
For those unfamiliar, Blanky Blank lighthearted game show, been a staple of British television for decades.
Yeah.
So having a drag queen on as a contestant, big deal in terms of visibility.
For sure.
And while many celebrated this inclusivity, there was also this vocal minority who saw it as some sort of agenda and responded with just hateful rhetoric.
It's just heartbreaking to think that someone as talented and beloved as the Vivienne was subjected to that kind of negativity. And it makes you wonder how we as fans should navigate this sensitive topic.
It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you want answers.
Right.
You want to make sense of this sudden tragic loss.
Yeah,
But we need to respect the family's wishes for privacy.
of course.
Avoid spreading rumors or engaging in that speculation. That can be harmful.
And there's also the danger of focusing too much on the potential negatives and overlooking the incredible impact she had on so many people.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in all of that.
Yeah.
But you're right. We can't forget the light the Vivienne brought into the world. And scrolling through those Reddit threads, it's clear that so many people are choosing to focus on that,
Right.
on the joy and the laughter that she shared.
It is heartwarming to see fans, reminiscing about their favorite Vivienne moments,
Yeah.
sharing clips of her performances, and just celebrating that incredible talent.
It's a testament to, I think, to the power of art and humor to transcend even the deepest sadness.
Yeah,
And it speaks to the genuine connection that she made with her audience.
for sure.
They saw her not just as a performer, but as a friend, a confidant, someone who made them feel seen and accepted.
And that's something that's been coming up a lot in these threads is her warmth, her generosity of spirit.
Oh, yeah.
One user even shared a link to one of the Vivienne's favorite charities, encouraging others to donate in her memory.
That's lovely.
It's a beautiful way to honor her legacy and channel some of this grief into something positive.
It's interesting how many people are saying that watching her perform, or even just rewatching those old episodes of Drag Race, it's bringing them comfort
It makes sense.
in this difficult time.
Right.
It's like they're finding solace in her humor, her strength, in her unapologetic celebration of self-expression.
One comment in particular really struck me. A user wrote about how rewatching All Star 7 will now have a bittersweet note to it.
I saw that too.
They talked about how proud they were of the Vivienne for holding her own against those American queens.
Oh, for sure.
And for making a non-elimination season such gripping television.
That's a great point. It speaks to her ability to not just compete at that highest level, but to elevate everyone around her.
Mhm.
She brought such a unique energy to that season, this blend of British wit and drag excellence.
Yeah.
It was truly captivating.
And it wasn't just about entertainment.
Sure.
She used her platform to speak out against discrimination and advocate for the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that beyond the glitter and the glamour, she was a real person with a strong sense of social justice.
Absolutely. And that brings us to this broader conversation about the challenges that are faced by LGBTQ plus performers, particularly in the current climate.
Yeah.
As we mentioned earlier, the Vivienne herself was a victim of a homophobic attack just this year.
It's awful.
And sadly, she's not alone. The Metro article highlights this alarming rise of transphobia,
Yeah.
anti-drag sentiment in the UK. It's a trend that's deeply concerning.
It is. It's a stark reminder that despite the progress that's been made, there's still so much work to do in terms of creating a truly inclusive and accepting society.
And that's where I think the Vivienne's legacy becomes even more significant. She was a symbol of resilience, of challenging norms, of embracing individuality. And her passing, while tragic, can serve as a catalyst for continued activism,
Yeah.
for fighting for equality, and for creating a world where everyone can express themselves freely and safely.
It's a lot to process, but you've hit on something really important.
Yeah.
How do we, as fans and allies, take this grief and use it to create positive change? What can we learn from the Vivienne's life and her untimely passing?
I think one of the most powerful things we can do is to continue to amplify the voices of LGBTQ plus individuals, to celebrate their art,
Yeah,
and to challenge prejudice wherever we see it.
that's for sure.
We can also support organizations that are working to create a more just and equitable world for everyone.
And on a more personal level.
I think we can all strive to be a little bit kinder, a little bit more understanding, a little bit more like the Vivienne.
Yeah, it's hard to even imagine a world without her wit and her presence.
It really is.
Makes you realize how important it is to cherish those artists that we love while they're here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so easy to take things for granted, to assume we'll have more time to, experience their work, tell them how much they mean to us.
Yeah.
This is a stark reminder,
Yeah.
life is precious. We should savor every moment of beauty and inspiration that it offers.
Speaking of inspiration, one of the things that really resonated with me while reading through those tributes was how many people felt empowered by the Vivienne, particularly within the LGBTQ plus community.
It makes sense. I mean, she was so unapologetically herself.
Right.
And that kind of confidence can be incredibly powerful for people who are struggling to find their own voice, their own place in the world.
Amidst all the sadness and reflection, there's this one quote from a Reddit user that really captured the mix of emotions so many of us are feeling right now.
Oh, yeah.
They wrote, "Oh man, rewatching All Star 7 will have such a bittersweet note to it now."
I saw that one too.
And they went on to say, "Viv held her own amongst the U.S. queens, and that season wouldn't have been as incredible as it was without her. Genuinely, one of the funniest people that has ever been on that show. Such a loss."
It's true. She brought something so special to that season.
Yeah.
Her humor, her style, her ability to command a room. She was a star, plain and simple.
And her presence on an international stage like that was such a huge step forward for UK drag.
Oh, absolutely.
She proved that British humor and talent could translate across borders, and she paved the way for other UK queens to shine.
For sure.
It's a legacy that will undoubtedly live on, inspiring future generations of performers, and I think that's a comforting thought amidst all this grief.
It is. The Vivienne may be gone, but her impact on the world of drag, on the LGBTQ plus community, on entertainment as a whole will continue to be felt for years to come.
So to our listener, we encourage you to explore the Vivienne's work, experience the joy, the laughter, the sheer brilliance that she brought to the world. And as you do, we leave you with this thought: how can we each, in our own way, carry on her legacy of love, acceptance, and unapologetic self-expression?